Man, we got a special guest.
Oh, I know, man.
And you know what? I referenced this earlier in the show. And I said, can somebody call Josh? I want to talk to him.
You did. You actually did.
I said, where else on this show can you call it? Just say call him Josh.
I said he'll be happy you called him that too as well.
And I came running in.
I know, and you literally did.
which it's kind of scary. Kind of scary.
We are talking about the Attorney General of the state of North Carolina, who hangs with us often, and we're happy to have him back in studio with us. Give it up for the Attorney General, Josh Stein. What's going on, Josh?
All right, Reese Kmac, how y'all?
Man, we just doing great, man.
After that Wofford, situation.
You can't make nobody
I'm
mess
sorry,
you bring that up.
I'm sorry.
I discovered somebody likes popcorn.
You and a lot of other people.
I was watching TV, and there was Phil Ford, and there's somebody throwing popcorn all over Phil, and it looked like it was Reese.
You know what? I said all the times I need to be on television, they get me when I'm putting popcorn and stuff in my mouth. But I got a lot of calls on that. But it's good to have you on, man. It's the holiday season, and it's interesting. I thought about this the other day. I know a lot of people got scams and all kinds of stuff going on the holiday season.
Absolutely.
Did you guys hear about a lot of that stuff?
Absolutely.
At your level?
More money changes hands in November and December than any other 2 months.
Wow.
And whenever money's flowing, the crooks, they put their hand out and try to grab it. And so they try to trick you on sales on the internet. Some of them put up fake websites to try to get you to buy stuff that's not real.
Right.
And then you see a lot of charity scams where people reach out to you and they have the best sounding name, like People for Humanity and Dogs, and it'll sound great, but you have no idea who they are.
Right.
So when you're doing your charity, which obviously we always encourage people to help out people in the community who need it, give to the groups you know. Do the research. Don't just respond to who reaches out to you, whether it's on the phone, the internet, knocking on your door, because you have no idea who they are.
Right, exactly. Man, that's good stuff.
We talking with North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, and you came in to visit with us. We really appreciate that. Like you said, this time of year, there's always scams, there's crooks, there's people looking out. Well, you've been working on some things this year that I think, we've been involved in early on with the opioid crisis, and then recently this Jewel with the vape, because there are a lot of young kids down that have gotten, I want to call it, maybe I call it hooked or whatever.
It's addictive.
On vaping or what have you.
But both of these issues, I mean, you wouldn't think opioids, which is killing people, actually it turns out e-cigs are killing people too.
Wow.
But they are both about addiction. They're both drugs that the companies put it out in the marketplace, hoping that people will become addicted to it so that then they have a consistent, steady buyer. It's all about making money at other people's expense. On the opioid crisis, it was predominantly one company, Purdue Pharma, and one drug, OxyContin. They're the ones that just kick-started, that fueled this entire epidemic about 20 years ago. And we just learned yesterday that the company's in bankruptcy, and the Sackler family, which is worth billions, the owners of the company are trying to use bankruptcy to shield their assets.
Wow.
And as part of that process, they had to disclose how much money they'd taken out of the company over the last 10 years, more than $1 billion a year.
Wow.
They took out more than $10 billion, and they think they can just walk away from this with minimal liability.
They're going to file bankruptcy to protect themselves and walk away with $10 billion?
But what's crazy is they didn't even throw themselves into bankruptcy. They threw their company, and somehow they think they should get those protections. So I sued the family individually in addition to the company. I refused to settle, and I'm going to hold them accountable so they come up with real money.
Because I was wondering, I said, where did they come from? And the Pharma 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 1995. They started aggressively marketing it. They were paying doctors who would prescribe more. They would give speaking fees to those who are heavy prescribers. They were going around advertising to docs saying, look, this drug is not addictive and it's very effective for treating pain. And it turns out neither of those things are true. There are other ibuprofen actually reduces inflammation. Opioids just mask the pain. It doesn't address the underlying cause.
Wow.
And as we all know now, of course, it's incredibly addictive because there are millions of Americans who are addicted.
Wow, outstanding. Now, we're talking with Josh Stein, Attorney General for North Carolina, and we were just talking about the opioid crisis, and you're going after Purdue Pharma and some of these guys, the guys that really were responsible for it. But let's talk about the person on the other side, the person with the addiction, the person that's suffering, but because a lot of we just talked about Josh Gordon for the Seahawks, and
Yeah, he's been in and out of
being
the
in
league.
and out of the league. I mean, it's been a number of times. We
Rehab.
talked rehab, and we talked about addiction, right? Talk about some of the other measures that are in place trying to get people to help them recover from opioid addiction.
Yeah, sadly, not enough. I mean, truly not enough. We've been doing some good work on the prevention side. We've reduced the overprescribing, passed a bill called the STOP Act that my office championed. That's dropped prescribing 25% in 2 years.
Ooh.
We've been championing a public education campaign called morepowerfulnc.org. Has a website with all kinds of information. The hurricanes are a partner. And by the way, on January 31st, it's going to be Drug Take Back Day. So if you're going to go see the Canes play that night, bring your leftover pills, and there will be police located at every door, and they'll collect all your leftover drugs. And that way you can be comfortable. It will not fall in the wrong hands. But in terms of the treatment side, we're not doing a good job. The one thing that North Carolina, the most effective thing the state could do to fight this crisis, if we were serious, would be to just say yes to the federal government's offer to return our taxpayer dollars in the form of Medicaid expansion. We have 500,000 North Carolinians who earn too much to qualify for Medicaid, but don't earn enough to get the subsidy for the Affordable Care Act.
Exactly.
These are working folks who need health insurance, and some of those people have addiction, and if they had insurance, they could get the health care treatment they needed to get well. So that's what we should be doing. I am leading a national effort of every attorney general in the country. There are actually 55 because we got not only the district, but we got the territories, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, last time I
Last
checked,
was 50.
I'm like, let me try to trick us.
We grew. But all the AGs.
You're doing that Auburn math.
All the AGs, Democratic and Republican, we're working together to hold the other drug companies, the drug distributors, the drug manufacturers accountable. And we've reached a tentative $22 billion cash deal, $48 billion when you add in free recovery drugs, the Suboxone, which helps people with addiction get treatment. So we're trying to bring that deal to a landing. We're on like the 5-yard line, and usually you're at the 5-yard line with Drew Brees as quarterback. You're going to get a touchdown.
Nice.
Make it.
But I saw the Duke Carolina football game this fall where Carolina's on the 3-yard line and fumbles, and then Duke goes to the 2-yard line and throws an interception. So I don't want the 5-yard line as my analogy anymore.
Very nice. Don't use that one.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. And when we do that, it will provide a stream of resources to go to local communities in North Carolina to help the people you're talking about, Kmac, because those folks, they need help. They need health care. They need treatment. They need to get healthy and well, because addiction is such a powerful force. It takes over their lives, and we need to help people be free.
I mean, that's great stuff.
Jasmine asked earlier when we were going through it. She said, "Well, maybe we can still get a team." And I said,
can. We're like 170 miles apart, which is, I think the rule is 100 or 120 miles because Philly and DC. And so we could at some point have a freestanding MLS team, but it's not going to be next year.
Right. Yeah. So that's. But like I said, I mean, I think Mr. Tepper had about $3 billion to spare, and I think he came in. He spent $2 on the Panthers, spent another couple $100 million on the MLS team. So I think he's got a little bit of change left in the bank, in the piggy bank.
That's the shmoney talk.
So he's gonna, I don't know what he's gonna buy next, but we'll see.
And I think it's Atlanta. I think Atlanta plays in the football stadium there, and they've had really good success. And so I hope it just clicks in Charlotte and takes off.
Yeah, well, maybe. All right, so we're wrapping up a decade and a year. What are some top moments for you that stand out?
For the decade, I'll say there was one moment. It was in early April 2017. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. And
we were there too.
I was there too. I was there with my father, Adam, and my son, Adam.
Oh, wow.
And when Kennedy Meeks blocked that shot, I looked at my son, and it was just pure joy. I mean, just ecstasy. And it's something I'll never forget.
Wow. Yeah. And I looked to my left, and that was the most pure I ever seen. This guy right here, I said, Paramedic, come get it.
About to have a heart attack.
Yeah, well,
He was about to.
yeah, but it was
that's awesome.
we was right there. It was a great moment. Again, we talking to Attorney General, State of North Carolina, Josh Stein, been rocking with us, and it's a good way to close the year out with this young man here. Recently, you was giving a speech.
Yeah.
And
In Charlotte.
in Charlotte. So let's talk about it. Set it up. What
I was
happened?
talking to a room full of senior citizens,
Yeah.
and I do this. I travel around the state, and I talk to seniors about common scams that
Sure.
the bad guys use to try to steal their money. And the number one type of scam that we're hearing about, we've gotten hundreds of complaints, and people have lost millions of dollars. I mean, it's really bad, is this lottery scam where they say, hey, you won a foreign lottery, $3 million. All you have to do is pay me $5,000 to free up in taxes to free up your payments. And I mean, the sad thing is people fall for it because what the scammers do is they really try to agitate you. They either make you really excited like you won or really scared like the IRS is about to arrest you.
Gotcha.
And when people are agitated, then they're not rational and they make impulsive and bad decisions that they later come to regret. Well, so I'm giving this speech talking about the lottery scams, and a senior woman, she says, I just got a phone call from Jamaica. I said, well, answer it. And so she answers it. And then I walk over there, and the woman with the mic comes over there, and she plays the person's voice to the whole room. And it turned out the woman won $3.5 million. What's going on, brother? They threw a Mercedes in for free. Wow! And all she had to do was send them some money. And so they started to ask her some questions, personal questions.
Yeah.
So I just took the phone from her. She did an amazing job egging the person on. What? I won? What did I win? And then I took the phone and I said, this is the Attorney General. You're breaking the law. Stop calling this number.
Right.
And the person just hung up and the room exploded in laughter. And somebody caught like the last 15 seconds on video and we put it up on the internet and it took off. And so then somebody emailed me and said, I want the Attorney General to answer my phone when a scammer calls. Just like Kmac said, I have a question for the Attorney General, and I showed up.
There it is. There it is right there.
So what we did was, and it's on our website, we recorded a voice message for me saying, hi, this is Attorney General Josh Stein. If you're a robocaller, a legal robocaller, stop calling this number. If not, please leave a message. And so people have been downloading that on their phone.
I'm gonna download that one too. That's pretty good.
It was funny.
So that's pretty good because
take that for data.
Now they're releasing for 99 cents. You can get Samuel L. Jackson as the voice of your Alexa.
Yeah.
Right, so
mine's free.
That's what I'm saying. Now I get to the attorney as voicemail on my phone for free.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. If you're a robocaller, stop calling my phone.
Is enough.
And robocalls, like to you and me, they're incredibly annoying. Incredibly annoying. But they are a source of billions of dollars of fraud. The reason they exist is because they go after vulnerable people who they can exploit and take their every last dollar. And we have sob stories of people losing $230,000 to these guys. Yeah. And so I led a 51 Attorney General coalition, everyone, including the district, to develop some anti-robocall principles that I got the 12 largest phone companies to agree to. And so our hope is in the coming months, we're going to really see a reduction in these calls. We're going to work hard.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. I'm telling you.
They're a pain.
Yeah, the most irritating thing in the world.
Yeah, they are a pain, but they're the only calls I get.
That's because young people don't call.
No, we don't.
They don't know how to use their voices. They just text.
Yeah, there you go.
and they text.
I call my children on the phone, and it's just dead air.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hello? And they're like, oh, hello? I said, you know when someone calls you, you're supposed to say hello. But they don't even know how to use the telephone.
They just answer it.
That's funny and true. Right?
Just swipe. Now what? Say hello.
No, it's funny. I saw something on social media where a kid asked their dad, like, "What does hang up the phone mean?" Because like that's not a thing. No one's hanging
the phones used
up
to be
a
on the
wall,
wall.
right? That's funny, right?
Good point.
That's pretty funny.
They probably didn't know.
Do you remember the little extension cord that would be pulled so long it would lose, it get all tangled up?
Yeah, untangle up. You got to untangle it. Yeah. Jasmine, you don't remember that, do you?
Did you have a rotary cell phone?
We had a rotary phone.
Yeah.
What's that for? It wasn't a rotary cell phone. It was
I said style phone.
Yes.
Have you ever seen one?
I have one. I like old things. So I have a rotary style
neat.
phone.
You do like old things?
Yes.
You like to bring up age on this show a lot. So.
I don't age.
Hey, we got
shame
Attorney General. You gotta be
anybody.
careful.
Yeah.
You
I
better
think
be
a rotary phone's a cool phone.
I'm just curious if you had
It's
one.
like a brick. You throw it. I have one my grandmother had. So it's
Is it
probably-
hands free or is it connected
it's
to the
over 50.
phone?
No, it
It's
has
over-
the little,
It's connected. So you can't walk around.
not far. Has a spiral cord.
That's why we used to literally have like 15-foot.
That's right.
cords,
So yeah.
and it would get all tangled
Yeah,
up.
we call that, it's a cord phone, but it's really like a cordless phone because you can walk around all throughout the room and whatever. Man,
Jeff said, I saw this in the movie once. We're talking with the Attorney General Josh Stein of North Carolina.
yeah.
And the Attorney General came in because I asked him to.
As always.
We should ask about that. Came in and said that's a cult.
And
right
I
there.
asked him to.
Well, the Peloton.
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 Do you ride those bikes?
I do elliptical and real bikes. I don't do Peloton.
See,
It's like a KMS is like a church.
it's like a church. And they speak it in code on social media.
She feels so much better about herself now.
Now that she was on this bike, you're like, oh, are you sure? Are you positive about that? So coming up next year, 2020 is right around the corner.
Yeah.
What can we look for from the Attorney General's office going into next year, 2020? As always, you're working on something. What can we look for?
A lot of things. I want to bring this litigation against the big drug companies home. I want to deliver billions of dollars to people across this country who are struggling with addiction. I want to eliminate the backlog of untested sexual assault kits. We have more kits that are untested than any other state in the country.
Okay.
We got the money, and so now we've got to work with local law enforcement to get those kits tested so that we can put really bad people behind bars where they can't hurt anybody again.
We've been talking about this for like 10 years.
It's terrible. It's
Come on
terrible. I want to continue working with the phone companies to drive down robocalls.
Yeah.
I want to do a better job on data privacy. We've got a bill that I'm pushing for so that when there's a security breach where a company loses all of our personal information, that they do a better job letting us know quicker so we can protect ourselves, but also so that they do a better job so it's less likely to happen. And I've got a bill to work on for that. Keeping kids safe from sex abusers. We passed a good law, the Safe Child Act, a couple weeks ago, making sure that law gets implemented. I'm looking at big tech like Google and Facebook to make sure they're not exploiting their market dominance to hurt competition, to hurt consumers. And so that's an investigation I'm working on.
Oh man.
The thing is,
Good
when you're
stuff.
Attorney General, there's always work. There's always work. And I love it, and that's why I'm trying to re-up.
Why don't you work on this cable bill?
Stop watching so much TV. Radio's free. You should listen to the radio.
Man.
That's a good point.
Man,
I saw my bill yesterday. I said, I'm watching this much when you add stuff on, it kind of adds up at the
It does.
It's just-
ACC Network now is killing me.
Well, hey, you saw me on there.
That's right. That's right.
What did they hit you with the Disney Plus?
Right.